resurrection is coming, so get ready. I told you, you're not winning, you're not watching, it's true. Your boy brings you winners, and we bring them to you first. Get ready. Cannabis stocks, they can explode. That's right, they're gonna explode.
Diversification is a protection against ignorance. I mean, ensure that nothing bad happens to you. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a perfectly sound approach. Who does not feel they know? You know how to analyze businesses and value business TV. It's crazy. Rich TV. Rich TV. Rich TV. Rich TV. Record high. Rich TV. That marijuana bubble. Rich TV. Rich like me.
Invest in companies and businesses that you can see still being successful 20 years from now. That's the Warren Buffett model. Invest in the best, invest is blessed, and invest in the company. Like identify the number one big. Truly, for the last 5 months, and right now, you're up between 65 to 80%. Congratulations to everyone. Hey guys, this is Rich from Rich TV Live. The resurrection is coming, so get ready. I told you, you're not winning.
Okay, so I had to go live because there's some crazy news. Holy smokes, it's crazy news. So the same day I get my gear. Yo, thanks Elad from Rich TV Shop, man. You are a scholar, my friend. New hats, new gear, and there's more coming. Don't you worry, there's more coming. I got to deal with this. I'm thinking we're having a market melt up. We're having an amazing time in the markets. Markets are at all-time highs. And you want to impeach the president? President Donald Trump on Wednesday became the third U.S. president in history to be impeached as the Democratic-led House of Representatives approved abuse of power and obstruction of Congress charges against the Republican leader. I said, pardon? We're at all-time highs in the stock market and you're going to impeach the president? You're going to impeach the president a week before Christmas? What? You're going to impeach the president a week before Christmas? What? What the hell, man? What's going on? Oh my goodness, man. What are you doing? Holy smokes. You're trying to are you trying to give the president a heart attack? Are you trying to kill the president? This is the president of the United States of America. And now you're trying to impeach him, only the third president in history of America. In the entire history of America, the president's only been impeached 3 times. This president happens to be getting impeached at a time where the stock market is at record highs. Oh my goodness. What are you guys doing? Listen, man, we're live. We are interactive. We're talking about Trump. I want to know what you guys think. I'm not in America. I'm hearing it everywhere. My phone's blowing up talking about Trump. I say, you know what? Let's just go live with it. It's Rich TV Live. I'm saying don't panic. You know, it's Rich TV Live, and we're live, and we're interactive. And President Trump, the most powerful man in the world, is being impeached a week before Christmas when he's doing as far as the stock market is concerned, a fabulous job. And you're going to impeach the president? Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Holy smokes. You're trying to give him a heart attack? You're trying to stress out the president? You know, Donald Trump's response was pretty amazing. He says, it doesn't really feel like I've been impeached. You gotta love Trump, man. That's the best answer ever. It doesn't really feel like I've been impeached. Oh, goodness. Voting after a day of rancorous partisan debate. The House backed the articles of impeachment against Trump largely along party lines. No Republicans supported either charge, and only a few Democrats broke ranks on both articles. The evening votes followed a month-long investigation into Trump, who has consistently denied any wrongdoing and called the proceedings a witch hunt. I'd call it a witch hunt too. I think for sure it's a witch hunt. It's a Trump hunt. Investors have largely ignored the impeachment drama in Washington. Stocks finished Wednesday trading mixed, but equities have notched solid gains this year, with the S&P 500 SPX down 0.04%, up more than 27% year to date, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average DJIA down slightly today, 0.10%. Up over 21% this year. Those are staggering numbers. The NASDAQ Composite was up today, 0.05%, has advanced around 33% this year. Massive, massive numbers. And you're going to impeach him? The Democrats' impeachment case rests on what they call Trump's abuse of power by withholding aid to Ukraine to pressure Kyiv to announce investigations that could politically benefit him. Democrats also charge Trump with obstructing Congress by instructing his top advisors to defy subpoenas. Oh, man. This is getting dirty. If we don't act, we would be derelict in our duty. He gave us no choice, said Speaker Nancy Pelosi, a California Democrat, in remarks on the House floor. He gave you no choice, eh? Gave you no choice. Let's impeach the president at Christmas. Merry Christmas, President. Merry Christmas, Mr. President. Like, what is going on? You're impeaching the president at Christmas? Really? Man, that's unbelievable, guys. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's crazy. I can't believe this. The matter now moves to the Republican-controlled Senate, where a trial is expected to begin in January. So this is the way Mr. Trump spends his 2020, on trial. Wow. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, a Kentucky Republican, told Fox News last week that there is no choice, no chance Trump will be removed from office. That's positive. We don't want that in the stock market right now because that's going to be a big old crash. A January trial would come shortly ahead of the first presidential primaries of the 2020 election season, with Democrats choosing from a wide field of contenders seeking to take on Trump in November. Ain't nobody beating Trump. Opening a Keep America Great rally in Battle Creek, Michigan on Wednesday night, Trump brushed off the action in the House. This is his response. This is the statement of the year. It doesn't really feel like we're being impeached, he told reporters. Oh, I gotta love Trump. Earlier in the day, he called the Democrats' efforts an assault on America. It is. It's completely an assault on America. It's going to affect the markets tomorrow. 100%. It's already affecting the markets. Let's take a look, actually. Let's look at the US 30. It's actually one of the pairings that I like to trade. Let's take a look at the US 30 right now, actually. The US 30 is going down. It sure is. The US 30 is going down. So obviously this isn't good news. I mean, why would you do this right now, Christmas time? Tweeting Wednesday morning, Trump said, read the transcripts, referring to records of conversations with Ukrainian president. This should never happen to another president again. Say a prayer. Unbelievable. In July call with Zelensky, Trump asked him to investigate Democrats and former Vice President Joe Biden, who is seeking his party's 2020 presidential nomination. Trump has defended that call as perfect. Can you believe that I will be impeached today by the radical left, do-nothing Democrats? And I did nothing wrong, a terrible thing. Read the transcripts. This should have never happened to another president again. Say a prayer. Wow. He's asking for a prayer. That's scary stuff, man. That's some scary stuff. The president is asking for a prayer. Oh, goodness. What a crazy world we live in, eh? What a crazy world we live in. President Trump, the most powerful man in the world, the man who is leading America, the most powerful country in the world, and he's being impeached by the Democrats. The do-nothing Democrats were his exact words. Oh my goodness. This is nuts. This is crazy. Hey guys, smash the like button. We're live. We're interactive. Late night on the West Coast, 6:54 p.m. PST, 9:54 EST, and we talking President Trump. And President Trump has just been impeached. This is breaking news. This news is literally circulating all over the world. President Trump has just been impeached. Now, I'm not suggesting that he's going to no longer be the president. I'm not even American. I don't know the rule. That's why I'm live. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know your opinion. What do you guys think about this? I think this is pretty big news, and it affects everybody. Because America is one of the most powerful countries in the world, if not the most powerful and influential country in the world. And when you're in Canada and America is right next door, it's going to affect you. The day-long House debate featured Republicans like Republican Doug Collins of Georgia, the top GOP member of the House Judiciary Committee, charging Democrats with trying to fulfill a goal originating in November 2016. You've been wanting to do this ever since the gentleman was elected, said Collins. So essentially, they've wanted to impeach him since 2016, since the start. And they finally got their wish 4 years later, a week before Christmas, and 11 months before the big elections. Wow. Unbelievable. Democrats rejected that argument. Did the Democrats even care about the markets? Do they even care about the people? Is this some type of vendetta? It's weird. It's really weird. Like if the economy was struggling and, there was no jobs and the stock market was crashing and housing was crashing, I would understand. But you've got a growing economy. You got a strong stock market. You've got a growing country. Trump was, from what I was thinking of what I've heard, Trump was making America great again. Was he not? And you're going to go and impeach him now? Really? Really? Man. Democrats rejected that argument. We will clarify that in America, no one is above the law, said Republican Hakeem Jeffries of New York. Republican David Cicilline of Rhode Island said, this is not about making history. This is about holding a lawless president accountable. Okay. Another Republican Barry Loudermilk of Georgia, likened the proceedings to the trial of Jesus Christ. During that sham trial, Pontius Pilate afforded more rights to Jesus than Democrats have afforded this president in this process, he said. Pelosi formally opened the impeachment inquiry on September 24th. In a letter to the speaker on Tuesday, Trump said she and her party were declaring war on American democracy. Pelosi called the president's 6-page letter really sick. Oh man, this is ugly. This is getting ugly. This is getting straight ugly. Man, oh man. This is ugly, guys. What do you guys think? Let me get into some of your guys' messages. This is crazy. I'm just reading this and I'm just like, hey, this article is from Market Watch. Yo, Tony, what's up? Smoking 559. What's up, man? Yo, what's up, Nels? Smoking 559. You like the hats? Respect, man. I'm glad you like the hats, man. That's our boy Elad from the Rich TV shop, man. He's in America. He wants to make Rich TV Live America great. And he's doing a good job with some gear, man. Just getting some gear. I ordered all this from the store. John Hughes says, wow, troubled times. Gopa32 says, it's not going anywhere. He don't even take a paycheck and dislikes those Democrats. No, I know. B. Harris says, impeachment in name only. Yeah, I hope so, man. B. Harris says, Trump will be president this time next year. I hope so. I mean, he's been good for the markets. I don't know about what else everybody thinks he's good or bad, or, a lot of people have personal feelings about the way he acts. And I understand that too. Just as an investor, I think he's good for the markets. He's clearly good for the markets. So it's scary as an investor to think what could happen in the markets right now. I think the shorters will be out for the first time in a long time because we've been having a bull market for quite some time now. Jora Bati says, best gift ever. Adam says, the Senate won't remove him. I hope not, man. For the stock market's sake, I hope not, because the market will take a crazy dive. Happy Glass says, hey, Rich, finally get to see you live. Hey, man, what's up? Good to see you guys. Love you guys. Respect you guys. Heard the big news. Everyone was talking about it in group chats. I said, you know what? Let's just go live with it. Let's go live with it. Let's talk about it. B. Harris says, a lot of people will be going to jail and they are all Democrats. You think Democrats are going to go to jail? Wow, that's going to be some serious war. Crazy Joe says he's going to get exonerated by the Senate. Ryu Buddy says it's okay. He will get elected again next year as president. I think so too. I mean, it's crazy. Has there ever been a president that got impeached and then got reelected? He's the third ever president in the history of America to be impeached. Has one of those other previous presidents that were impeached, did they get reelected? Probably not. So he could definitely make a first, I think. But I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know enough about American history to tell you whether or not they were impeached and then got reelected. But I would assume that they probably wouldn't be reelected after they were impeached. SNICP says Trump 2020 best economy ever. I know. And they want to get rid of him. Donnie Harrison says, yeah, he won't be removed from office. Does anybody think he will be removed? Robert Howell says the Democrats just cost themselves the 2020 election and Trump will still be our president. They weren't going to win the election anyways. This is just them trying to take a shot at him. It's a low blow. It's a very low blow. What does this mean, Rich? Well, it's a vote, right? So it still has to pass, and it hasn't. So let's talk about that. Let's get into what it means. 2 Democrats, Reps Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey and Colin Peterson of Minnesota, voted against the abuse of power charge. Van Drew is about to switch parties. Peterson hails from a district Trump won overwhelmingly and has said impeachment is a waste of time since the Senate is unlikely to remove him. This is what you guys are saying. You guys are so smart. Van Drew and Peterson also voted against the obstruction article, as did Jared Golden, a Democrat from a conservative Maine district, Hawaii Republican Tulsi Gabbard, a Democrat running for president, voted president on both articles. The vote on abuse of power was 230 to 197. It was actually pretty close. And on obstruction of Congress, it was 229 to 198. As the House was debating Wednesday, the yield on the 10-year U.S. Treasury note, 0.63% down today, rose 3 basis points to 1.93%, and the U.S. dollar, currently down 0.06% right now, the DYX, was up less than 1% against a basket of its major rivals. So far, impeachment has had essentially no market impact, as traders do not expect the president will be removed from office, said Chris Lau, chief economist of FHN Financial, in a note. All right, well, he doesn't expect too much. Right now, the US 30 is going down. I won't be surprised to see it go down more, but it'll come back up. I'm sure the market will probably, it might start red and finish green. Because this is Trump. It's President Trump, man. It's President Trump. This guy's a powerful guy, man. Rain Ban says the Democrats are toxic, very toxic. This is the way they want the president of the United States spending his Christmas. That's as disgusting as it gets, man. Just disgusting. Crazy Hip Hop says, hi, I'm new. So does this mean he is not the president anymore? No, he's still the president. It still needs to pass the Senate. I don't believe it will, from what I've heard. Rain Band says, but I would like to see a Democrat to be the president because we need the stock market crash, which means I'm ready to buy. You're calling for a stock market crash? Come on, man. We don't want no crash. We don't want a crash. But we do want to invest in the best. I think a situation like this is pretty epic. What do you think? Think situations like this are epic? Pretty epic situation. Pretty epic. Pretty epic situation. Nathan Smith says it has to pass in Senate, so he's not done yet. I think a situation like this is pretty epic. What do you guys think? I don't think there's a reason to panic. No reason to panic. Just watch Rich TV. We'll keep you updated on all the news and we'll talk about it. Give you a platform, a place to talk about it. Guys, we got 56 people here, 27 likes. We got to hit that like button, guys. Got to smash that like button. We're live. We're interactive. It's late night. We're talking about President Trump getting impeached. This is history. It's historic. This is a historic event. And you guys are a part of it right now. We're talking about it live. We're probably some of the first people talking about it live right now. After us, everybody else is going to follow. But we're first. So let's talk about it. Let's chop it up. It's pretty epic. Happy Glass says, it will not make one iota of difference. The people will choose whoever they want next election. I think it'll be Trump. Rain Band says, Andrew Yang 2020. I don't know who Andrew Yang is, but I don't think he's going to beat Mr. President. Yvonne Diesel says, Rich, I've been working in the USA for 30 years now. My company is American and was a coup d'etat, the Democrats, or wacko. Nathan Smith says he's still president, has to pass the Senate. Yeah, so it's not a done deal, but it's definitely not a fun time for the president right now. That's for sure. But it's a fun time for me because I'm getting all my new gear and I'm getting a chance to rock the new gear for the first time. Pretty excited about it. Excited to see what you guys think about Mr. President being impeached. For the third time in history, an American president is being impeached. This is my first time wearing these hats, guys. It's epic, right? Epic. Epic. Epic situations, man. Epic situations with this president, man. There's never a dull moment with this president. And the thing is, he didn't even do anything wrong. They're just picking a fight for no reason. They're just picking a fight for no reason. Gail says, had a rally in Michigan and people came 3 days early out in the cold waiting to see him. There's a lot of people that love him. B. Harris says, the season of treason. SNICP says, Pelosi is ruled by George Soros. Those are some powerful people, man. Nathan Smith says, I don't think it will pass. I think he will still be president. I agree. How do you get rid of the president? I don't think so. Not when he's doing well. I don't see it. Gopa32 says, they feeling the swamp draining pressure. Michael Handelman says, my country is going to pot, so time to buy pot stocks. Yeah, pot stocks has been getting crushed in 2019. Hopefully 2020 is going to be our year. We've had some huge runs in 2017, 2018, and 2019. For the first part of 2019, for the last 8 months, it's been a nightmare. So hopefully we will see a resurrection of epic proportions in 2020. It's just been so demoralizing because everyone right now is doing everything they can to try to slow down cannabis, including the governments, including the FDA, trying to say that they want to approve CBD in America. Obviously, there's a lot of people that don't want to see legalization in America. The rollout of edibles in Canada has been a very slow rollout. The rollout of cannabis-infused beverages has been a nightmare slow rollout. Everything has been really not good, and the investments have been terrible. For the most part, the cannabis sector has been a big fail in 2019. As far as investors are concerned. Now, some of the insiders have made out like bandits. I hear CEOs making 8 million, 10 million, even more than that all over the place. Guys like Linton were making hundreds of millions. So they made out like bandits, but the investors, the small people like us, fortunately, we've been the ones getting slaughtered. So this is why we need to diversify our portfolios. And this is why we want Mr. President to stay in power, because the markets have been strong. No, Trump isn't out. Trump has been impeached, but it still needs to pass the Senate. Romeo Lives says he should have never been selected. Well, yeah, I mean, he's a TV star, right? He's a TV star and a businessman that became the president. I mean, it's a crazy situation. It's a pretty crazy situation. Romeo says, woohoo! Fuad Halal says, hi, sorry, I'm shocked. He's still the president. Nothing has changed. He even said that it doesn't feel like I've been impeached. Like nothing's changed. Emma Hughes says they can't remove him. Hard to understand why they are bothering. They just want to take a shot at him. It's just dirty tactics. They're just trying to throw dirt in his face. They're trying to shit on his lawn. They want to throw shit on his door. It's the president of America. It's a week before Christmas. Do you guys have any class? Couldn't you wait till at least the first week of January? Do you got any class whatsoever? You can't allow the man to go and enjoy his Christmas dinner with his family. He's the president of your country. You people, and as far as I'm concerned, have no class. Zero class. That's just my opinion. But hey, what do I know? I'm not a politician. Rob says it has to pass the Senate, which will never happen. Exactly. So they're just trying to throw him under the bus. SNICP says, yeah, hard to understand why. It means nothing. Trump will now. Yvonne Diesel says, Donald will stay right where he is. The Democrats are sick in the head. Yeah, I think that they just sad people, man. Sad people. M. Hughes says, America can never again hold the high ground over Banson states. Fuad Halal says, red stocks. Yeah, I would assume that we're going to get some redness after this news, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. But I'm trying to catch up some of you guys' messages. I want to hear from an American perspective. Reefer Al Joint. You want to give me a call, man? I want to hear what you think, bro. I want to hear what you think. You want to give me a call? I want to hear from an American. I want to know what you guys think. I'm a Canadian. I want to hear from an American. Reefer Al Joint. You want to call me, bro? Let's chop it up, brother. Now's the time. If you're watching. Just trying to catch up to your messages here. Gopa32 says, nope, they don't. And yes, they hate Trump. Rainband says they're the worst. Fuad says they need more money. They don't think about us. Yeah, I don't understand. They do. You're supposed to be doing things for the people. How are you helping the people 1 week before Christmas by impeaching the president? David James says they can't impeach Trump. It will never get past the Senate. So it's all a charade. Wow. Rob Hawkinson says, funny how the Dems say nobody is above the law. Crazy Hip Hop says, David James, first name for last name. John Hughes says, Trump will remain in power. Romeo Live says, the U.S. government is corrupt. Peter B says, this is all about give one now and take two later. Y'all see. Yeah, probably. Yvonne Diesel says, everything that Democrat are reproaching at Donald Trump, they are doing it themselves. SNICP says, Pelosi, Schiff, Comey are treasonous. They should hang. Woo! It's getting heated. Pop Fizzy says he'll be the first in history to get impeached by the Senate. You think he will get impeached, eh? Wow. Yvonne Deal says, Rich, you don't have to be a genius to understand. He's doing good for the people of the USA. Economy is strong. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in America, so I can't speak for you guys. Love to hear from an American. Love to hear from you, Reefer Al Joint, if you're available. I see Reefer Al Joint is in the chat. Pop Fizzy says he'll be the first to get half impeached, then reelected. Reefer Al Joint says this is the third president impeached in my lifetime. Nixon, Clinton, and now this dude. So I guess they've impeached some big presidents, eh? Nixon and Clinton. Aren't those two very famous presidents? Oh, Clinton got reelected. There you go. So he won't be the first to get impeached and then reelected. There you go. Thank you, Reefer Al Joint, for answering that. SNICP says mayor of DC got reelected after smoking crack. Oh, Romeo Live says a good day for America. Oh, man. Bushcraft Adventures Bus Travel says no way, Trump 2020. Smoking 559 says when they started losing money, they got really salty. Pop Fizzy says he's the middle finger we've elected and will again to put in the face of the establishment. Very powerful words. Reefer Al Joint says Nixon got caught on tape on film. Nixon's buddies all got arrested. Yeah, that was a disgrace too. Oh, wow. Caught on film, eh? Sonia Aversa says, what a roller coaster this year has been, and now more to worry about. I'm exhausted. I know, just in time for the holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. We have a president that's being impeached. M. Hughes says 3 Dems voted against, not 1 for, and so they cannot get 2/3 in Senate. Will mean nothing. However, Dems will lose the House as well, so shot themselves in the foot. So they shot themselves in the foot. That's how badly that they wanted to make him look bad. They even are willing to even shoot themselves in the foot. That's how sick these people are. Reefer Al Joint says, no, he can squat in the White House. Bushcraft Adventures Bus Travel says, they just handed Trump the 2020 election on a silver platter. Wow. Josh Cook says, Senate won't pass it. Huge waste of money and time. Josh Cook says, yes, bushcraft, I agree. Gopa32 says Clinton did. So Clinton got impeached and reelected. Will Trump follow in Clinton's footsteps? Yvonne Diesel says, Rich, the only thing is Trump is not for pot. Is he, though? I don't think he's ever said anything against pot. I think his words were he would let the states handle it. Peter B says, now that Trump knows what's up, he's going to show them who is the boss. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Reefer Aljoin says, Republicans just killed all cannabis bills passed by Congress. Good luck with cannabis legalization. Yeah, that's not really good. Sonia says, I agree, Josh. Huge waste of time and money. Living a good-filled life, says President Trump is a man of God and loves Jesus Christ. God will always protect him. Oh, man. Now we're getting religious. Reefer says, Clinton got reelected, man. Hey, so if Clinton get reelected, maybe Trump will get reelected. What do you guys think? Time for some FOMO is real? Put some FOMO is real on. Let's try this hat out. Smash that like button for your boy Rich, says Peter B. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate you, man. Rob says 468 seats will be up for election. And the Dems... Oh, it's too tight. And the Dems are scared he is going to do what he said he would do. Drain the swamp. He is bringing the Democratic corruption to everyone's attention. Oh, yeah, that's why they're going after him. And the thing is, now that they're going after him, now he's really angry. So now he's going to be just stewing. So everybody's heads are going to get chopped off now. He's like, okay, you finally pushed that button. Now that you've pushed this button, let me show you why I'm the president. Let me show you why I'm the mother effing president. I want to show you why I'm the mother effing president of America, why I am Donald Trump. Let me show you why FOMO is real. Okay? Let me show you why the FOMO is real. Emma Hughes says, we need Schiff to face charges. Somehow the guy is acting above the law. Oh, I think Trump is going to make these guys' lives a living hell now. Reefer Aljoin says, Nixon left in disgrace, almost in handcuffs. Wow. Reefer Aljoin says, Clinton just stayed in the White House and acted like he never got the notice. I think that's going to be the tactic that Trump takes. Rain Ban says, get your popcorn ready. No, I know, man. We better get our popcorn ready because this is just crazy. This is crazy. I've heard about it. There's been rumblings about it. There's been talks about it, impeachment, but to actually have it happen, it's weird. So we had to go live with it. I wanted to hear what you guys thought. A Business says Andrew Yang 2020. SNICP says Hillary for prison, Schiff and Pelosi too. Wow. SNICP says I hate the fake news. ZZ says, do you like him, Rich? And how's it going, man? How are you? No, I don't know about if I like him. He's been good for the stock market. I don't know the guy personally. I don't like him as a person because I don't know him as a person. So I can't say I like or dislike him. I think he's been good for the markets. As an investor, someone who's talking about investments every day, I think he's been extremely good for the broader markets. So yeah, I mean, I have nothing against him. He's the president of America, one of the most powerful countries in the world, and he wants to make America great. So why would I have hate against anyone who's doing his best to try to make America great? Is he flawed? Does he do mistakes? Does he have skeletons in his closet? Apparently. But, I'm not here to judge based on what he has in his closet. I just want to see what he can do for the economy and how we can benefit. Ultimately, that's really what matters to me. What he does on his personal level, porn stars and Miss America pageants and all, Miss Universe pageants, all this stuff. I mean, So what? I really don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. Like, there's this porn star talking about Trump and laughing about the size of his penis and laughing about this and laughing about it. I'm sitting there going, how can you have any face when you've slept with this man multiple times and now you're talking about how disgusting he is? Like, do you realize what you're even saying? You make yourself just look like so low when you publicly go out on television as a porn star or whatever the hell you are. And then you go out there, I think her name was Daniels, Stormy Daniels. Yeah, Stormy Daniels. I see her on a TV show talking about how small his dick is and how he's bad in bed and how he's so gross. And I'm like, but you fucked him. He's this, is that. He's all these terrible things, but you banged him. What does that make you, man? Like, what's wrong with people, man? What's wrong with people? It's such low-level life forms, man. Damn. What's wrong with people, man? Pop Fizzy says, Dems own Fox News too. Pop Fizzy says, if Trump legalized weed, he'd be the MVP until 2024. I don't know if he's going to legalize weed, but that's definitely going to be his trump card, and he could play it if he chooses to. Dark Vader says, men were born to serve women. The future of humanity is female supremacy. Men are game over. Damn. I feel that way sometimes. I feel you. I feel your pain. Pop Fizzy says Trump hasn't been any more impeached than Clinton. The Umpire's Post says, I'll take a business person over a politician any day of the week. Yvonne Diesel says, Rich, he gave his salary. Oh, I just popped up. Richie gave his salary to charity, which Canadian government in Canada doing that? I don't know. I don't know. Pop Fizzy says CNN never treated him like a president, not since he got elected in 2016. Oh, yeah. I mean, he called them fake news. Referral Joint says, I'm confused. Republicans destroyed all cannabis legalization, costing us tons of money. Remy Red says, some stock going to profit off the impeachment, I believe. Yeah, the question is which ones? Silence and Beat says, doesn't it still have to go through Senate trial? Yes, it does. Crypto Millionaire says, when is the Senate passing the impeachment? That's a good question. Does anybody know? I didn't see a date. Apparently, there's a trial that starts in January. Bork kills one-leg man. That's an interesting name, buddy. The Democrats are going to let themselves down again. Living a God-filled life says President Trump is protected by God. The Democrats are children of Satan and will never win. President Trump will get reelected in 2020. Children of Satan. Woo! Damn. Halapro says, our president doesn't have class. Why give him any class? Hey, man, I'm not here to judge. I'm just wondering. It's weird, man. Treating the president like an animal a week before Christmas. It's crazy. Happy Glass says, Reefer Al, I agree. I am puzzled by support for the party that is completely against weed. Yeah, that's very, very, very weird, but he's been good for the markets. I did buy stock in High Times, and that makes me a joke because I made an investment in a cannabis icon. That makes it my fault that they decided that they're running out of money. I just find it funny when people take shots at people for making investments that go bad. Because at the end of the day, everybody has the right to make an investment. Some of them are going to go good and some are going to go bad. When people make comments about other people's investments, it just shows what kind of person you are. That's all I could say. Reefer Al Joint.
Hey, what's up, Richie?
How you doing, buddy?
Just chilling out. Caught your shot.
I appreciate you calling, man. Thank you so much, man. I wanted to hear from someone in America because I'm Canadian, and obviously this is big news. It's like I'm in Canada, and this is all over the news. So is it? Obviously, it's all over the news in America.
About the impeachment?
Yeah.
Or about the cannabis bills being killed by the Senate?
No, the impeachment. No, the impeachment. No, nobody's talking about the cannabis.
The impeachment, that's garbage. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's not going to mean anything. This is the third president in my lifetime to be impeached.
Wow.
Don't sweat it. This is bullshit. Sorry.
Wow.
Excuse my French.
So you don't think this is going to do anything to the markets at all? No red tomorrow?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. Okay, you need to look at the years that these things happened. Early 70s, 4-ish. Nixon, American was embarked in economic. It was horrible. So I wouldn't draw a conclusion simply because you don't want a conclusion. Just let it roll off your sleeves. It's a distraction. Just let it be. That's not the issue. I don't understand it. How can anyone support cannabis and actually say that they have money invested in the market and support the Republican Party? I'm a registered Republican. This is bananas. It's horrible. It's to think that New York State recently confiscated hemp. The police grabbed the guy's hemp from New Hampshire. The guy won the case. They said it's hemp, no drugs in it. And they were like, okay, the judge is like, all right, case dismissed, blah, 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 we're dropping charges. This guy's like, where's my hemp? And they're like, you're not getting your hemp back. You need to understand, killing of all the cannabis legislation and New York State having set a precedent of being able to confiscate legally hemp or any cannabis product. The precedent is set. They're going to go after shipments on the road. Don't be a fool. They don't want cannabis legislation. They've made it clear. If they wanted it to happen, then simply put, they wouldn't have stripped it on Monday, convinced everybody that we're going to have enough time to talk about it. We'll vote on it on Friday, but they vote on it the very first thing the next morning. And so basically all the hard work of getting any cannabis legislation written, it's gone. Poof, disappeared. Republican Party buried it. It disappeared. It's over. It's gone. So if you're worried about how much money is being spent to impeach the president, think about how much money your portfolio lost because your favorite marijuana pick paid to have those bills written. So we can make money, but to still support them makes no sense. It's backwards. It's a contradiction. That's sort of like saying, hey, I hate the smell of cats, but you have 27 freaking cats. It's wrong. But you know what? Everybody has their own prerogative, their own perspective. You just asked me for mine, and I was glad to give it.
So what do you think? You think he stays president for another 4 years?
For the sake of the nation, no. For the sake of the nation, no. I don't like divide. I think
You think okay, but I want to know something.
I think as a Republican, we need a leader who is going to unite not only the United States but take the position as a world leader, and not destroy 200 plus years of historic landmark negotiations with nation after nation, and just for one guy to come in with a 4-year stretch of time and just say, nope, I don't like it, hated it, get rid of it, don't like it. What are you, crazy? That's how we lost the Treaty of Paris. They decided the Prussians were too powerful and they wanted to dismantle them. What did we get? We got World War I. Would you guys go to your history books and, you're going to talk about how intelligent you are about investing and knowing what's in your portfolio, and yet you can't be present with current events or know a little bit about the history of what making money is truly about, which is evolution of mankind, not destroying, dividing, and inciting hatred. And I'm a loving guy, man. My disease almost killed me. I wish no ill on any man. I wish pain on no man. I am past that part of my life. Like you said, no more darkness. It's about a light. And I wish there was a president who had that frame of mind, because this guy, I don't think he cares about the guy who spends 22 years locked up in a prison cell for a freaking marijuana seed. He doesn't care about a guy like that. It's to me, I'm all marijuana. So the impeachment of Donald Trump, it's a bunch of crap. I wouldn't worry about it unless he decides to pack his bag and say, this place stinks, I'm done with it, I'm going back to Trump Plaza. The hell with it, keep this house. He ain't going nowhere. The guy can fly freely. He can do what he wants. He does not have to accept anything. As a matter of fact, he can run for president again.
I think he will, and I think he'll win. I think he'll win again, because who are you going to put in power that's going to be able to continue the momentum that he's built? I don't think anybody. I think anybody else they put in power will be catastrophic for the markets. Anybody.
Well, we see all the time on how people who like to rise to the top and they do it without integrity, and how it ends up being their downfall. I don't have time for Donald Trump and his antics. I'm a medical cannabis guy. I'm about healing. I'm about releasing toxicity. I'm about raising my vibration and staying away from the nonsense of, why am I going to stay up all night arguing about whether or not this guy should stay in office tomorrow?
But don't you
go anywhere.
But don't you realize?
Stay there for another 2 years.
But he's a very polarizing figure. I mean, he's in the, like, I guarantee you, 100 countries are talking about Trump right now.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I was duped. I used to have his books. I thought I wanted to be led by him at one point. But when I realized that none of his books, he didn't write any of them. Somebody else does the work and he sells it, puts his name on it. The hotels aren't his. They rent his name. He gets away with having stuff because simply he does not operate. That's like me saying, you know what? I'm going to let people license out reefer out joint and get paid for it. Hey, the dude, I mean, is pure genius. I mean, he dropped his real name. His name isn't even Trump. That's not his birth name. He changed it. I mean, do you follow a guy that is who he is, or a guy that has, I don't understand. I honestly don't understand. I'm just lost with the whole concept of following a party that is completely 100% of everything that I stand for, which is the ending of prohibition for marijuana, for medical patients to have the right to consume their medicine as they please, whether it's a capsule or a vape or a pill. That's what I'm about. I could care less because I know Donald doesn't care about me. So I know I've stood 18 inches from his face. You got to remember, I'm a street kid from New York City. Fifth Avenue, used to walk it all the time from the A train up to the 6th train. And 18 inches in front of his face. Guy had fear in his eyes, had no clue how I got that close to him. His bodyguards, look, like Fat Joe says, I don't need a bodyguard. I can go anywhere. To me, guy who runs around with bodyguards, he's the president now, but you know what I'm saying? You need bodyguards for real? You get locked up, you're going to get taken quick because you can't handle yourself on the street. A real man doesn't need protection. A real man lead by example. And to me, hatred and allowing your name to be torn through the mud to the point that you're being impeached. Clinton made a mistake. He got a blowjob in the White House. He made a mistake. I'll give it to him. You know what? Anybody, any a banging hot chick standing in front of you right now, okay? And you were vulnerable? Trust me. Number 2, happy ending on the spot. You wouldn't think twice about it. So don't judge a man for getting a little happiness on the side. Personally, I think any man who cheats on his wife is a dirtbag, but, Trump cheats on his wife too. He cheated on Melania, cheated on Ivanka, he cheats on what was it, Marla? Marla was so embarrassed she freaking moved to California. She was so embarrassed, dude. Remember, I'm a New Yorker. I know all about Trump.
Yeah, no, hey, listen, that's why I wanted to hear from you, because I wanted to hear from, a American-born person who's lived his whole life in America.
Trump is self-made, okay? He is self-made. His daddy used to make him go to the worst neighborhoods to empty out the coin slots for the washing machines in their rental buildings. And he had to go around collecting rent, but he always went with a bodyguard. As a matter of fact, his mama never used a bodyguard, and she used to go around, walking around with bags full of coins, and nobody messed with her. That's a woman. That's a tough lady.
Wow.
I'll give it to her.
Wow.
But we all know about the Southern agenda. We all know about Trump, the real last name. Donald Trump is not Donald Trump. His last name is G-R-U-M-P-F. Trump. He was so embarrassed by it that he changed his name. His father is a known white supremacist. Papers, man. They used to have the dad was the guy that was organizing it, so he always got his picture in the front. So, what do you want, man? It's a part of American history. It's not like people aren't going to find out, and it's not like you can't Google it. I bet you people right now are online Googling it. Oh, he's talking crap about my president. Let me tell you something. Most presidents could care less about you, okay? Their egos are so inflated that they have to get that much attention that they have to be a leader of 300 million people. That's a big ego.
Well, yeah.
No part of that.
You got to have a massive ego to be the president of America. You're not just a president of some country. You're a president of the country, the most powerful, the most influential country in the entire free world.
Then act like that, man. Y'all do know that make America great again? That does not have the greatest connotation. That's an old Southern agenda thing they used to use that immediately followed the Civil War. And if y'all know what the Civil War was about, make America, that was not. But you want to know something? There's a lot of Americans that feed off of that, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's part of human evolution. But anybody who messes with my portfolio, Richie, that they have the power to manipulate whether or not I have success in my life on that level, to manipulate stocks. Come on, man. None of y'all stay away from MSOs because they have no legal protection. It's scary in America.
It is. I know a lot of people have been trying to say invest in MSOs, and I'm like, well, I think the way to go is invest in Canada, because at least in Canada it's legal. And not only is it legal on a national level, it's legal. And now we've got edibles that are legal, and we've got cannabis infused beverages that are legal. Where meanwhile in America, the FDA.
But you know how it is. Knuckleheads are going to start telling everybody, "Oh no, you got to go to NASDAQ and Dow." Why chase a stock? The Dow is at 28 or 28 plus. I haven't even looked at it. I'm not touching it. Okay, yeah, it may.
Well, do you know that the NASDAQ is up? The NASDAQ is up 33% in 2019. The Dow is up 20. The Dow is up 21% in 2019, and the S&P 500 is up 27% in 2019. And you're going to go and you're going to impeach this guy after he's put out record numbers for investors? Really?
Well, you do know that the numbers on the employment have been off by as much as 40,000 a month for the past. Because of that, okay, major corporation, for the all that don't know, their forecast is about consumption, how much they can depend upon the public to consume disposable credit. Disposable income. Now, when the employment numbers are fudged, that means people are not the information that all these research and development and these advertising and marketing departments rely on, their numbers are off. So they're producing more than they should, which means that they're not selling everything. It's going to hit a wall eventually. You cannot do that. It is just not. We're talking, 40,000 a month for 20 months? We're talking about they're off for the past 20 months by what, 1 million consumers? It doesn't bode well for the American economy when past economists relied on the integrity of the information, and today's information is so far from having any kind of integrity that an investor standpoint, how can you say buy this cannabis stock, that cannabis stock, when they're working on information that isn't correct? So it's going to trickle down. We experienced it. It's called trickle down economics. We experienced it during the Reaganomics. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. It's unfortunate. People are chasing the NASDAQ right now. You've got to be a moron. If you're making money in the NASDAQ right now, it's because you made plans last year, because you set things in motion, because you've levied the playing field to your advantage. Not just going to jump in because Joe Schmo says pick this stock, because guess what? My chart says this is guaranteed to happen, when everybody knows the yield curve. That was what? That was BS. That was like Y2K.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, like, I know a lot of people are saying they think it's going to come down, but my sources from Wall Street that are major players are telling me we're going to have a market melt up and the market will go way higher.
What's their commission on the take? That's
Hey,
what I would ask.
I don't know, but I mean, these guys predicted.
People don't realize.
These guys have been predicting that the market was going to be going up since 2013, and it has.
Yeah,
it's been going up for 6 years straight. 6 years straight.
An 11-year stimulus run that has just really, it's been an amazing time to live in America. I mean, the prosperity has been through the roof. But how long do you think this can last at this rate when there's discord among the people? Republicans and Democrats, man, we can't even do Thanksgiving together anymore. Families are apart, all because one man fails to unite this nation. Abraham Lincoln, he left the country that ravished war, and the man still created Thanksgiving. He still created Thanksgiving because he was looking for something to unite this nation. That's a leader, not a guy who's going to go around and encourage one guy to punch another guy, or encourage somebody to take away somebody's right to choose their medicine, or who's going to tell you that, oh, yes, I believe in marijuana, but you're going to make sure that no marijuana legislation passes. I'm confused, to tell you the truth. I'm just really confused.
I think I've heard Trump say that he doesn't want to have a society filled with zombies.
Well, you know, the Purdue Pharma, we got opiate up for a while.
No, I'm just trying to say, like, there's something to be said about that. I mean, do you want 300 million people to have access to weed? I mean, it's a lot of people. Like in Canada, we only got 30 million. It's easier to contain 30 million. He's thinking about 300 million people smoking weed every day.
People smoking weed. You know how much money my portfolio is going to make, Rich?
No, I know. I'm just trying to say, like, how you've got America's the biggest consumer of.
You can't walk down a New York City street without smoking weed.
No, I know. I'm just trying to say that America's the biggest consumer in the world of everything. Hear me out. America's the biggest consumer in the world of everything, right? They consume more of everything than anyone in the world, right? So they're the biggest consumer. So now you throw weed in the mix. How much productivity will be affected by having an entire nation be that close to cannabis. When you and I both know that people that get into cannabis, once they get into it, they probably are going to be doing it the rest of their lives. Right?
Well, you know, either you're a drinker or you're a smoker in life. I'd rather have you smoking than drinking because at least you're not going to kill somebody on the road.
Yo, Reefer, you know, there's a lot of people listening to you right now and they're really liking you. They're like, hey, I like this Reefer. Where is he? Where can I follow him?
People are hating my guts.
No, like Sonya's saying Reefer needs a YouTube channel. I would definitely watch him. So much great knowledge. Knowledge is power.
So Rich, this is my perspective on the China trade deal. Okay, you guys are not going to like this, but America does not understand economics. Okay, we're too busy buying cheap goods, most of which have been and continue to be made in China. So the outpace of American cash going to Chinese banking institutions simply because we can't stop buying their stuff, that Trump devised a way to stop trade with China was actually a creative way to make sure that American cash stays in an American economy, as opposed to exiting out to some foreign nation that has, you know, they hate our freaking guts. You know, let's face it, if you guys don't
100%.
And the trade,
100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. He's everybody always has an ulterior motive, right? So
yeah, we got gamed. I mean, Rich, if you think that if Trump had to explain that to the American people, you think that he could have gotten away with it? No, he had to say, no, China, you know, he put some conspiracy theory up and it worked.
Yeah.
So what he ended up doing was he ended up making sure that the American economy doesn't go into a massive downwind.
Yes.
Americans don't get it.
Yes.
Stop buying shit from other countries. Buy American. My everything I own, my crock pot,
American.
My can of butter, American made. My cast iron, American made. Furniture, computers, everything. Cell phones, everything, American made. Why? American jobs. Not okay. Christmas goods. There's a town in China that manufactures Christmas goods. It's an all year. They sell Christmas goods all year round. Who are the biggest Christmas decoration buyers? Americans. We don't even get it. We don't get it. But Trump figured out a way for us to not get cheap Chinese Christmas presents simply by enacting tariffs. You got to do what you got to do. You try and explain it to people. Hey, Johnny, you really should look both ways before you go to cross the street. You know, little prick is going to run across the street as soon as he can. Yeah, people don't want to hear it.
It's true. There's nothing you can do to stop it. No, listen, you know, everyone's loving what you got to say, man. You've got the entire audience captivated. They agree with you. You're making some good points.
You're making some good points. For the Trump supporters, you know, what he's done in the past, okay, let's put it aside. But what he's done for my future by making sure that all cannabis legislation is dead, that to me that's my post. That's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on ending this BS prohibition. You know, grandma wants to put a little hemp in her tomato sauce. Come on, man. The lady's 90 years old. Cut her some freaking slack, man. She ain't got no friend. Let her be chill. But to have some legislation tell you that you can only vape, and then you find out people are ending up in hospitals for vaping, that you can't smoke flower, but you buy the pills. And I went from $1,200 a month on THC pills to $500 a month on THC.
Wow.
All because I didn't have to buy the capsules, because I could buy flower. And instead of going through their process, I kept saving myself tons of money. But the legislature tells you how I can consume my marijuana, and now I can't eat. Like I told you the other night, I can't see my mom, I can't see my sister, I can't freely travel because they're telling you don't travel with marijuana
across state lines
on airplanes.
Yeah.
New York State confiscated hemp, told the hemp farmer, we're not giving you your product yet. We're not giving it back to you because basically, in the old king days, in order to steal your crop, they would confiscate it, right? And get you wrapped up in the courts, and then your crop would rot. So they would get so much rot that they would just burn the crop. So basically, in the books, police departments are going to be able to confiscate cannabis shipments en route because nobody's protected. Thanks, Republican Party. I mean, it's a sad thought, but hey, y'all got to know the truth.
One of the members is saying, I hear that Reefer is really Tony Danza.
Hey, man.
They want you on the show. They want you on the show. I'm like, he wants to stay incognito.
Listen, guys, I'm going to be honest. Look, I'm a medical patient, all right? In America, we're protected by HIPAA laws, which means that I don't have to disclose my health to anybody. So if the police stop me, okay, I don't have to disclose what my medical condition is. Nobody can ask what my medical records are. We are protected here in the United States. So if I go out publicly, I don't want to be like Snoop Dogg with his tour bus getting stopped on the highway because they know who I am. Y'all got to understand that it's a little tricky. There's no advertising in cannabis, so some conspiracy theories. These videos that I give to Rich, they're freebies, man. I'm doing them on a cell phone, man. Can't you tell? This isn't a big budget. This is my journey. This is my journey for the guy who just started taking medical cannabis, who doesn't know what the hell he's doing. You're gonna spend $1,000 on a pill when you can spend $300-400 and make a can of butter and eat cookies all day long. What? As opposed to having to smoke a vape that they're gonna tell you, it causes lung disease. Come on, man. Just let me eat the damn flower like George Washington did. Real simple. Alexander Hamilton, famous Republican. He's the godfather of our banking system. I love him. He called out Aaron Burr, lost his life for it. So I understand the principles of calling people out. But basically, even Alexander Hamilton believed that hemp cannabis would be the backbone to the American agricultural base. Even Alexander Hamilton. George Washington's famous poppy seed bread is hemp seed bread. Was it Booker T. Washington, the cotton gin guy? It's to separate the fibers in the hemp plant. Look.
One second, Reefer. I have a question for you from the audience. Yvonne Diesel says, Rich, ask him if Trump legalizes pot, will he like Trump?
I don't like a man who cheats on his wife.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So even if he legalizes pot, you're going to hold that against him? The fact that he's cheating on his wife? I mean, I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah, I believe in life that you set a standard for yourself. And although you cannot expect others to follow that standard, you make sure that those that you keep around you uphold that standard. And that's my standard. My standard is I love my wife. She's my life. Simple as that. And any man who can't understand that behind every strong man is a stronger woman, man, they're missing out on something. So that's for all you ladies out there.
You know what, though? But what about the fact, and these are real statistics, like some crazy statistics, that in all relationships, there's about 70% that cheat, men and women, across the board, in all relationships, worldwide. There's about 70% that cheat. So there's only the 30% that are really good, okay? And the other 70% always strays. And that's men and women and combination.
I believe you. I believe you because out of everybody on the planet, only 6% of them have integrity and actually evolve in life. That even want to. That's how few people are actually meditating and how few people that are actually looking to not only prosper, but to spiritually evolve while they're here at the same time. So only a very small percentage of us. Most folks are narcissists. You see it all the time. You got haters on YouTube. They don't like this channel. They don't like that channel. So they organize, they orchestrate, they pull their little strings like a classic narcissist, and they get the unwilling, really sweet individuals to do the dirty work. Unfortunately for the little people that get used and abused, they never quite realize that most of the people on this planet, oh Lord, they're just bad.
That's what I'm saying. So we're gonna hold him to a higher standard when the entire global society is dysfunctional. Everybody on a global scale is dysfunctional. You know what's funny? One thing I've always tried to figure out is how can anybody really truly become financially free in a world where all governments are poor? Have you ever thought about that? If all the governments are broke, how can the governments expect the people to have money when the government themselves are broke?
I'll give you guys a conspiracy theory.
The governments are broke. The governments are in debt. The governments are printing money, but they expect the people to survive. No, I don't think so. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so Stephen Hawkins released the 2 secret chapters of Wealth and Time. He released it about 8 days before he died. Now, the old teachings say that anyone who teaches these things out in public, they're going to die. And Stephen Hawkins went out and did it. Bottom line is, there is a lot of information out there about human potential that most people are blinded with stupid nonsense like, is the guy going to be impeached? Does he have to leave tomorrow? Is it like an eviction notice? Does he have 3 weeks or 90 days? The fucking guy can stay there all he wants, okay? He doesn't have to go anywhere. But the longer that you're focused on that negativity, you're not flourishing and you're not living a good life. There's a lot of things and a lot of people like you who talk about being a light, that you don't have darkness in you, that you do not surround yourself with dark people. I dare anybody in the chat room to ask, is the behavior of getting people to argue dark energy? And if it is, you need to take a look at your perspective on a lot of different things in life, because some people call it following like a sheep. Others call it walking through life blindly. But when you elevate yourself to masters like a Stephen Hawkins or your Kramer, and for example, if I was an architect, I'd love Frank Lloyd Wright. You understand? You elevate yourself simply by aspiring to be as good as those before you. Yep. Warren Buffett, for example, phenomenal. Who did he learn from? Who were his teachers? Okay, and I guarantee you, his teachers were talking about the same thing Stephen Hawkins was talking about a week before he died. It's about evolving and growing and releasing that negativity. If you want your portfolio to flourish and you want to become a successful investor, then you're going to have to navigate through all the negative BS, the shorters, the frivolous lawsuits, the rumors of allegations, whether somebody's cheated on their wife or, they took construction payments. Whatever the case may be, if you're not focusing on what really matters, which is the road ahead of you, cannabis isn't going well right now. What's the next path? I have to harvest this field, but before I do that, let me plant my seeds in this field, because investments are a rotation. And the longer you're listening to nonsense about Donald Trump, you're not paying attention to your business. And guess what?
It's true.
That's why we're losing.
Oh, yeah. And everybody's losing. Banks, they got into the business of creating debt instruments. They said, hey, you know what? Let's open up a bank account. We'll charge you for you putting your money in our account. We're going to charge you for that. We're going to use your money, leverage your money, and charge you so that we can leverage your money. Right there. That's the biggest scam on earth. Then they say to you, hey, you know what? Your credit looks good. Let's get you a mortgage. Let's get you a car loan. Let's get you a credit line. We'll get you a personal credit line. We'll get you a corporate credit line. We'll get you an equity line. Now you got all these debts. Now you've got a credit card. Oh, we'll give you a second credit card. Let's give you a third credit card. Go to another bank, do the same thing. Go to another bank, do the same thing. We've built an entire society on credit. There's a huge bubble in North America that could burst at any point in time called the housing bubble and calling the credit bubble. I would say about 90% of Canadians only have 1 month of savings. That's how close. That's how close.
6 months of savings.
But I'm telling you, most people don't.
Yeah.
There's the 10% that do. They probably have lifetimes of savings. That's the way it works. You got the 10%.
I would get folks to think about how art imitates life. And if you watch a classic film like Casablanca, okay, and how in the beginning of the movies, all of the destruction, and they got those guys that are walking around with bags and they're picking up stuff and they're putting in the bags. Those are called carpetbaggers. When the market collapses, it will make people wealthy, especially those that have patience. It's about patience. If you take your hard-earned money now, go on the NASDAQ and go chase some stock that's, come on, you don't chase a stock. You can't chase a stock. You're going to lose, man. I mean, talk about it every day. But when that reset really happens, which I believe has already happened in cannabis, it's just going to follow on the NASDAQ and it's going to follow on the Dow. I told you, Rich, before, I believe it's going to begin in Italy and then it'll trickle down. But the bottom line is carpetbaggers. They take advantage during a down economy. And if everybody goes and they throw their money out and just chasing stocks and listening to some guy who's pointing at a chart that's 3 days ago news, you're going to lose. You're just going to lose. So right now, cannabis is looking good. Most of us are cannabis guys. It's time to start doing your research on every other sector, because if you can do good in cannabis, you can do good anywhere. If you know how to do your double D, you know what cedar is, you know what the good resources are, you know that there's not 10 cannabis companies out there and you only have a choice of, whatever stock people are talking about, not the ones that are actually making money. You could do that, right? I mean, you talked about it. You made money on what? Apple? You made money.
I'm trading different stuff all the time. For me, I think that honestly though, like if you want to be good in the markets, you got to first fix your life. Because I think the biggest problem that people have is they've got a lot of problems in their life, and even myself included. And then that affects them when they trade. And then when you're trading and you're not in the right mental state, it's really difficult to make good decisions.
Well, Rich, if you're going to invest in marijuana right now and you know that it's the birth of a new industry, wouldn't you have at least researched the last birth of an industry? Alfred P. Sloan wrote My Years with General Motors, okay? It's co-written with Alfred P. Sloan. Alfred P. Sloan was actually the guy who donated the money to the hospital I was born in. This guy, Sloan Kettering Hospital, they've got hospitals all over the United States. The guy built General Motors from nothing. He's the guy who documented everything about Ford, General Motors, what was going on at that time. He's noted for being the only person to have ever done it, and his notes are so meticulous that anybody who's looking to invest in marijuana should be reading My Years with General Motors, only because it'll explain to you exactly how a corporation is formed, how it functions, the rules that they use. Why would you invest in a new industry? Like I said, if I was an architect, my favorite would be Frank Wright, Lloyd Wright. I'm in cannabis. It's a new industry. I had better take the time to read the only book ever authored by anybody who first-hand account of the birth of the automotive industry. It gives you a perspective that I personally believe, if you haven't read the book already, you're not serious. Most people, I'll read off books right now. I mean, I'm in my library. I love economics. I love The Art of War. laws of teamwork, whether, and I can go offhand, von Clausewitz, whether I read Machiavelli, whether I read guys like Robert Kiyosaki. He's another guy who's a prolific writer.
Robert
Tony
Kiyosaki,
Robbins.
I follow him on Twitter. He's got the best quotes. And by the way, the members here love you. We got to do this. I think we got to have a weekly show or something, man. Because these guys love you, bro. Like, these guys love you, bro. Like, everyone's like, yo, this is like a low-key Joey Diaz. Like, I love Joey Diaz, man. So for them to compare you to Joey Diaz, that's pretty big, man. That's pretty big.
Most people don't realize this. Okay, there was a time not too long ago where whatever the king said went. Okay, do y'all realize that common sense was actually called a philosophy? A fucking philosophy. You know what? I'm gonna reach. I gotta be around here somewhere. All right, bingo. All right. Common Sense, the Rights of Man, and other essential writings of Thomas Paine. He's an American icon. But my point being, common sense is a recent thing. It's only above 200 years old, and most people don't really use it. They believe what they're told. For example, if you believe everything that Trump is telling you, then I dare you to read Thomas Paine, because your ass ain't using common sense. You're investing in marijuana and you're supporting a guy who's killing all legislation that's going to boost your portfolio. I know it's self-serving, but isn't that what we're doing? We're trying.
When you're voting, you're voting for someone that's going to serve you best. So yeah, I agree with you. Hey, let me ask you a question. So I'm listening to this guy yesterday, and we all have problems, right? And when we have problems, we all think our problems are the biggest problem in the world when we're dealing with them. So he said something that was very big for me yesterday, and it really made me think, because we're all going through problems, right? In our lives. Yeah. Everybody has problems. Personal, business, financial, relationships, health, you name it. We all have some type of problem somewhere. Nobody's life is just hunky-dory perfect ever, right? There's always something somewhere. You got a pimple. Everybody's got their own problems, right? Whatever it is. Because for some kids, a pimple, when you got to go to school, that's a problem. So let's just say this guy says, and it was so big, it would it hit me like a hammer to my head. You know what he says? He says, problems are a good thing. Problems, if you don't focus on them, but you focus on the solution, can drive you to heights that you've never even imagined possible. And those problems are being put there to push you and test you and get you to do something that you never even thought you could. And you wouldn't have even attempted unless that problem occurred. And it was so profound for me. I was like, holy shit, he's right.
Yeah, that's very Marcus Aurelius. I mean, we're motivated by fear and greed, basically. And once, we have fear inside of us, that's when we're most motivated. But I'm glad the guys only got, problems as far as thought.
Because when we have problems, they encompass us, right? Like, you have a problem and you so focus on the problem, we should be focused on the solution. If you focus on the solution, the problem goes away. But we don't focus on the solution. We focus on the problem.
I dare everybody tonight before they go to sleep and say, you know what, that motherfucker Reefer, he talk a lot of shit, but you know what, man, some of that shit actually resonates. So I totally get it. This is what I want you guys to do. I want you to stop before you go to bed and just stop and ask yourself, out of everything that you did today, what did you do to prepare for tomorrow? And because you were so focused on this Y2K impeachment nonsense, you took the time away from yourself. So tonight, before you go to bed, just stop and think about what you did, what you need to prepare for tomorrow, and take a look around your room, your flat screen TVs, your furniture, king-size beds, beautiful man, beautiful wife, I don't care, whatever floats your boat, dog eats cats in your room, but in your palace, and think about it. Think about that guy living in that country sleeping on the floor right now. You ain't got no problems.
Yeah.
You ain't got no.
It's true. It's true. But like I said, you know what the biggest problem is for us in North America? Our second car, third home, fourth home, vacation home. Oh, I only got 2 vacations this year. I'd like to have 3. These are our problems. Everybody in North America is trying to keep up with the Joneses. Everybody. It's the Jones effect. Oh, my neighbor's got a new Tesla. I need a Tesla. My neighbor got a new front porch. I got to get a new front porch. Oh, my neighbor got a new garage door. I need a garage door. And everyone's trying to one up each other.
I'll tell you what it is. What everybody seems to forget about America is that y'all lost a whole damn generation. Y'all lost it to crack and you lost it to AIDS. Okay? And you lost it to massive incarceration. Massive. Y'all are so damn disassociated from a reality because you have not had the interaction of the hardship of a real world. We are very lucky. We got flat screen TVs talking all that jazz about, I don't like the military. I don't like war. Well, you know what? Unplug your damn TV because that's military technology. Unplug your damn phone. Give me your phone. Cell phones, military technology. That damn microwave. You know what? Indoor plumbing, electricity, everything. Medical care, all military technology. You know, folks are so wrapped up in what they don't want. It's like somebody walks up to you and says, here's a free iPhone. And you look at it and you say, oh, it's pink. I don't want it because it's pink. You ungrateful little twerp. It's a damn iPhone. It's a freaking $1,000 tool right there. You can't give it to your niece. Give it to some kid who's sleeping on the floor in a third world country, you ungrateful. That's how I look at things. Sorry,
well, it's true. Listen, I got a villa in the Dominican Republic, and every time I go to the Dominican Republic, I honestly feel very lucky because they're so poor there, right? There's so much poverty, and they sit there and they play baseball with a stick and a bottle cap, and they sit there and they throw the bottle cap and they hit it with the stick. And I'm not talking.
Me encanta Santo Domingo.
And I'm not. Yeah, in Santo Domingo. My villa's in Sosua, between Sosua and Puerto Plata, but it's in Sosua, between Sosua and Cabarete. But even professional baseball players like Edwin Encarnacion, who used to play for the Toronto Blue Jays, he played for the Yankees, right? Played for the Yankees, and he is like multi-millionaire superstar. And when he goes back home, he goes on the corner and he plays that game with his kids and all the kids in the neighborhood and all his buddies.
Manny Ramirez to the baseball fields when he was like 10. He lived down the street from my mama's house. I sat down next to Alex Arias and Hector Arias in high school. Dude, Dominicans baseball, that's where I grew up. I love Dominican Republic. I love the Caribbean. My wife, she went to Catholic school in Dominican Republic, so we're from the Caribbean. Yeah, poverty. Yeah, it's
everywhere. The poverty's everywhere. It's crazy, right? It's poverty everywhere. So somebody that's poor, and they're happy.
Dominicans are the fastest adapting migration in American history. They came to the United States with the principle of earning and making money, and they knew the first principle was to learn the language. They have gone down in history as the fastest adapting migration into American history. Kudos to Dominicans. I give them props.
I love them.
You talk to a Dominican, he's like, oh my God, I didn't know you knew Spanish, and they just look at you like, yes, you get.
I love Dominicans, man. That's my people, man. That's my blood. And when I walk down the street, it doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m, 5 a.m, everybody treats you with respect. And they're poor, but as long as you treat them with respect, they will be your best friend. But if you disrespect them, oh my goodness, word travels fast. Word travels fast. And tourists don't understand that. I try to explain that to them. I go, do you think you're going to walk into someone else's town and you're going to go and disrespect someone or not tip someone or treat someone like trash and it's not going to get around town?
The Dominicans established themselves in the New York City prison systems really, really quick. And they were known as DDP. It stands for Dominicans Don't Play.
They don't. They do not play.
The Colombians love the Dominicans because the Dominicans got no extradition laws. Look, I got a classmate I told you the other day. He volunteered for extradition in the United States, got hit with 533 years. 533 years beats being in a poor prison in the Dominican Republic. For real. That's how people don't understand that. That's how poor it is. In Dominican Republic, if you go to prison and your family doesn't bring food to you, you will starve to death.
Oh yeah.
The prison does not feed their people. It's America, North America. I mean, I'm sorry, man, but
there was a guy who was an American, and his name was Cuba Dave. I don't know if you heard of this guy, but this guy was going down the Dominican Republic, and he was making videos on YouTube about girls that he was sleeping with, and how the Dominican had the best girls, and you got to come to the Dominican to see the girls. And this guy got really popular. He was traveling to Costa Rica, doing videos there. He was traveling to the Dominican, doing videos there. He was traveling to Cuba, doing videos there. One day, he flew into the Dominican. They grabbed him. They threw him in jail. They said, "You're publicly talking about prostitution." They threw him in jail for 2 years. He's an American. He was in jail for 2 years, and he said he almost died. And they didn't give a shit. They treated him like dog shit, and he had to contact.
Puerto Rico the same way.
Yeah.
You go to Puerto Rico, right, and you drive around the highways, and then you wind up in these complexes, and you see all these people hanging out the windows, and you're thinking, hey, man, that must be the projects. No, that's the prison. These guys are so packed in there, and it's so damn hot in there that they're just sitting with their legs and their arms sticking out the windows in the prisons that you drive past them in the hallways. America, we are so very fortunate. Like I said, we have flat screen TVs. Everybody's got a microwave. I mean, I'm sitting right now in front of I got 4 screens on me. I got a phone on me, 2 phones in the other room, 2 TVs downstairs. Technically, I don't need it, but shit, you know what, man? It's part of the American story. Imagine what people 100 years ago thinking, oh my God, that's like space age shit. And everybody nowadays is just truly ungrateful for the fact that we can send a message to anybody in this world. The chat room is filled with people from all over the world that are exchanging information that would not otherwise be available to them. 400 years ago, you had to throw a message in a bottle, and they still finding them bottles, so the messages never got to anybody. Meanwhile, if I wanted to right now, I could go call the White House and ask, yo, Trump, so I heard you got evicted. There's nothing to stop me.
I guarantee you we waste more money in North America than the Dominicans make. We waste more money on a weekly basis on nonsense, chocolate bars and stupid shit.
Dominicans buy real estate. Dominican bought real estate. Rhode Island took over. New York.
Yeah. No, in America, yes. I'm talking about in the Dominican Republic. The average person's making like $100 a week. How many of us in North America spend $100 on nothing? We all do. We waste it. Like you just mentioned it. You got 3 TVs. You got this. You got that. We all do. We all got all these extra. I got a TV just sitting here. Huge TV. It's not even being used. It's not even being used. I got like 5 TVs that I'm not even using. They're just all over the house. It's just a waste of money.
Somebody put $100 up their nose in the past hour. I hear you. Yeah, we're the biggest consumers of waste.
This is what I'm trying to say. We waste more than people live off of in other countries. Just think about that. We waste more than they make.
My mama raised me on less than $7,000 a year. Okay, $7,000 a year. 2 boys raised me under $7,000 a year. That's all welfare gave her. She went to Columbia University. She graduated from Yeshiva University. Yeah, all of that, but $7,000 a year. Can you imagine living on $7,000 a year?
Yes, that's not even a month, man. That can't even cover a month. So that's what I mean. Like we just live in a crazy world right now. It's never enough. We always want more. And sometimes when I go back to the Dominican, I actually feel like it's home because there, even the most little things matter. You know, just waking up, going to hang out at the beach, everyone's having fun. It doesn't cost any money.
I don't know if any of the viewers are from Puerto Rico, but you can still go to Puerto Rico right now and go to an old person's cuatro, is what they call them, because it's one room divided in 4. Okay, one room, you got a bathroom, a kitchen, and they don't have running water to this day or electricity in their houses. People still live that. They're American citizens. American citizens still living like that. So to me, you know, losing $10,000, $15,000, you know, in my portfolio short term, Come on, man. I got fucking screens in front of me, man. I got a doggy that loves me. I got a beautiful, hot, freaking, I'll say it. I got a milfy wife. Y'all don't know. My wife, banging. Anyway, you know, I got a 2018 Chevy Equinox. Toyota's paid for. What the fuck do I got? I mean, and I'm in pain every day. And you don't hear me complaining. So well, everybody who's like, oh, Rich made me buy this stock. Rich didn't make you buy nothing.
I made somebody buy a stock.
Quick scheme.
I made somebody buy a stock? How? How did I make anybody buy a stock? I want to know how. I made anybody buy a stock.
You always hear it. Oh, but Rich, you said to buy this stuff. Rich didn't say buy. You know, that's the thing that's messed up is that, you know, people are so willing to follow and not pay attention that if Rich, I've been watching Rich for 2 years. So Rich used to say things like, oh, have you ever heard of, I mean, pick a retarded, I don't know, have you ever heard of KLFE? And just because I said KLFE to Rich, people think that that's some kind of code by KLFE. Okay?
It's secret code. It's going to go up. Rich is talking about it. It's going to go up. Bye, bye, bye. Rich is talking about it. It's going to go up. Bye, bye, bye.
You would say, that sounds interesting, and then people automatically interpret it as Rich just said, buy it. So now, you know, I've heard you more and more say, even though I know you've heard of the stock because you know the name of every damn stock listed. You gave me the freaking list, 440 different freaking companies. You know, but instead of saying, that sounds interesting, you've learned that you've had to adjust by saying, I've never heard of them before. I'll have to look into that. Because you know that if you say that sounds interesting, you know, you got 50 people who think that, you know, oh man, that's Rich's code word and I'm going to be rich like, no, you dummy. Yes, needs to say, okay, KLFE, I don't know what the hell it is, but, you know, maybe I'll Google it. Don't ask Joe Schmo, MJNA, Google it. Google the damn company. Why are you asking people? You got $1,000 piece of technology in your freaking hand. Use it, you nitwit. It's, you know, if I tell somebody, hey, man, such and such fact, they're going to question me and they're going to Google it. But if I say MJNA, people are going to say, you know what? I'm going to buy 20,000 shares. What if MJNA, there's no demand? Wayland Group was a perfect example. People started talking about Wayland Group. There was no demand for the stock. So people, when it was available, people thought, oh, my God, this is the golden stock. Now you got people that are bag holders. All because somebody said interesting inadvertently, instead of saying, you know what, I'm just going to have to look into that. You know, it's so easy to lead you know, like the classic tale of the Pied Piper. You know, like right now you're going to have influencers that are going to start blowing the little horns and, you know, they're going to start guiding you to the NASDAQ. Like they really know what the hell the NASDAQ is. I ask you first, check their damn credentials. Are they a licensed advisor? Are they a licensed advisor? Yeah, or are they just some jackass who's so upside down that they think that they can manipulate the price of a stock by talking it to death? Maybe if I talk it to death, people will buy it so I can unbury myself. It happens. We see it every day, and people think that, oh, this is a YouTube sensation. He's there every day. Nah, dude's there every day because he's desperate, and he's trying to find a patsy to fucking hold his bag. So right now, the best thing you can do is just engage in open conversation and do your damn homework as opposed to just listening to what everybody got to say. You know?
And well, that's the thing is, like, I'm not here to tell people what to do. I'm not a licensed advisor. I'm just trying to educate people and create conversations around the sector because I want to have intelligent conversations. If we're all just hanging out as friends, what type of conversations will we have? We would talk about stocks. We would talk about investing. We would talk about Donald Trump getting impeached. So Rich TV Live has become a place where we can all just come and we can give our opinion, and everybody has an opinion. So I want to hear it. And if you have a good opinion, if you have an entertaining opinion, if you have an interesting opinion, we can bring you on the show. The same way right now we have Dylan, you know, sending us videos every single day, and I'm posting them on YouTube. Dylan Fraser's been sending videos of dispensaries. You've been sending me videos of True Leave and Liberty Health Sciences. So this is the community being a part of this show, which has always been my idea. My idea has always been this: I'm just the messenger man. I want to deliver the news, but I want to be able to get the community involved and have a place where If I'm angry, if I'm sad, if I want to talk about something, we could just go live and talk about it.
Oh, yeah, you see it all the time where guys will be all bent out of shape in their chat room and guys will jump in and say, hey, man, take it easy, cool out, don't worry about it. You know, we're all going through the same thing. I mean, you do see that.
Oh, of course.
But, you know, the chat rooms are pretty good. You were talking about a book earlier, man, and I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh, 48 Laws of Power.
Is it the Robert Greene Juiced Efforts Power?
Yeah, it's like the orange one. It says 48 Laws of Power.
This is my second copy.
It's a beautiful book.
This is definitely my second copy. But for reads, look, man, if you're gonna be an investor and you got to know yourself. I told Rich before I'm an Art of War fan. It's my favorite book in the world. It's about governance. It's about knowing yourself. So I would definitely put that on my reading list. You have Peter F. Drucker's My Years with General Motors. I would definitely read that book. And my all-time favorite that my mom gave to me as a boy is The Richest Man in Babylon. I've given that one to all my nieces and nephews for over 20 years. I guess those would be my top investment books, only because for one, for example, in The Art of War, my favorite tale is the Wu shows up. The Emperor says, "I like your style. Were you military?" So the guy goes, "Hey man, I'll do it, but when I give an order, you better follow it." And the guy says, "Of course." He goes, "Well, line up your 300 concubines." Put the all the concubines up there, and Wu goes to the ruler and says, "Hey, pick your 2 favorite concubines and put them in the front." He places the 2 most beautiful women in the front, and Sun Tzu says, "When I say turn left, you turn left. When I say turn right, you turn right." He gave the orders. The girls giggled, and Sun Tzu said, "That's my fault. I gave the order. They didn't listen. So cut their heads off." So the ruler's like, he doesn't want to do it. So he cuts their heads off anyway. 2 neck concubines step up. Sun Tzu says, "When I say turn left, you turn left. When I say turn right, you turn right." He gave the orders. Of course, every single one of them listened. The point to the story is leadership. You have to have a leader that can not only make a decision like that, separating themselves from something that they love for the protection of the whole.
And you don't think that Donald Trump is that leader?
No, not at all. I do not think so. A leader would have devised a way to unite the nation by now. He's had plenty of time. A great man will go through long sacrifices to do the right thing. I learned how to be me through the streets, and I was asked, given a lesson, what makes a man, and I learned it was knowing the difference between right and wrong, and always trying to make the right decision. And that same thing applies to what makes a woman a woman. It's like doing the right thing no matter what. And I do not believe that race baiting is good for the United States whatsoever. I'm indigenous to the United States.
I agree with you, for sure. I agree on that 100%.
I'm past that. Get pissed at me, or anybody out there in the world, but I'm going to call it out. Tiki torch carrying motherfuckers, step to me, I'm going to clock you. Straight up. Straight up. That's how we roll. I've seen KKK. I've been hiding under my mother in the back of a Volkswagen Bug in 1974 because there was a Klan rally. You get that?
Wow.
I know what race is. In the United States, you were not allowed to drive down the road. My grandfather used to tell the family, when we get on I-95, you cannot speak Spanish. They had to drive the side roads.
Wow.
And they had to go to places that were only available to blacks, because the moment my grandfather opened up his mouth, you can tell he was a Latino. My grandfather was sent to Leavenworth because he refused to have his men charged. They decimated a Chinese battalion. They were supposed to be released from the United States from the military, but they were held hostage in Korea. They were the last segregated unit in the United States military. Borinqueniers, the 65th Infantry Division. My grandfather was a captain. He was an artilleryman. Okay, he was bumped down because he did not leave his men. They led the last American bayonet charge, dude.
Wow.
The last American bayonet charge.
That's crazy.
They had the artillery. They had the weapons. My great uncles and my grandpa, they were crazy. Why do you think I'm like this?
It's reefer all joint, everybody.
Leavenworth. My grandfather went to Leavenworth. My grandfather turned down his Congressional Medal of Honor and refused his military burial rights and refused to be buried in the United States.
Wow.
He chose rather to be buried in Puerto Rico, where they would dig his bones up after 3 years. And my uncle took care of it. I don't even know where my grandfather's bones are anymore.
Wow.
But I tell you right now, my grandfather walked down the streets of New York City with a gun on his waist belt, like that. That's how we roll. That's just how we roll.
That's reefer all joint, everybody. Listen, reefer, it's getting late, brother. We've been live for almost 2 hours, and we've been doing this a lot. Actually, I like it. You've got open line to me now. So if I'm live and there's something you want to talk about, the people love you, bro. So we got to get you on the show more.
Calling me at like 7:30 in the fucking morning, man.
Well, hey, man, whether it's 5 a.m. or it's 5 p.m., you know that we'll be live, bro.
Hey, chat room. Don't you think that Rich should take at least one day off, grab the kids, and go have fun? Come on, chat room. We got a shout out for Rich. Let's take the day. Take it sometime soon. Take the day off, bro. Hang out with the kids.
My kids are right beside you. Guys don't even know. My kids have been running around. They're right here.
No.
I'm telling you, my kids are right here. I just don't want to put them on camera. My kids are right here.
Okay, Richie.
This is how I take care of my kids. This is my fun.
Oh no, I'm not saying.
My son sees the hats. My son sees these hats, bro. What do you think of the hats, reefer? My son sees these hats and he's like, "Yo, Dad, I'm gonna rep your gear. I'm gonna sell your gear at school." I'm not kidding.
Listen,
my son saw these hats. He's like, "Yo,
John Gotti's famous quote. He told his son to go dance, right? And his son like, "Oh, I don't want to look stupid on the dance floor." So John Gotti tells his son, he says, go make a fool out of yourself. Because in the end, all you got are your memories. Create memories. That's my thing. Just go create memories, man. Go play, bro. You fucking been knocking it out the park, dude. Go take a day off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play with my kids, but this is what I love to do, man. This is my day off.
2 hours is a long time.
Who needs a day off when I have a whole life off, man? I don't work. I don't got no boss. If I don't do a video, that I ain't doing anything. Just telling you.
So what's up? You think my Twitter account is still jacked up?
Well, I need everybody here to go and subscribe to Reefer Al Joint on Twitter.
Hey guys, something happened on my Twitter account. I went from 120,000 impressions first thing in the morning. I sent a tweet out to Rich, something going on because it only got one view and it got flagged. Somebody hating. Don't be hating.
You know what? I heard something, Reefer, before you go, I heard something from a very successful person. And he said, as you become successful, you're going to be climbing this mountain and very few people will be ever on that mountain. And as you start climbing this mountain to success and you start doing what no man's done before, there's going to be a lot of hate. There's going to be a lot of envy. And the higher you go, the harder it's going to be. The more obstacles you will get, the more hate you will get, the more trolls you will get. And I started thinking about that. I said, I guess we must be doing pretty good then.
Listen, man, let me know. Let me know when you get there. I'll take an Uber and I'll bring water balloons so we can throw them at motherfuckers.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, man. You're the man.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you guys later.
Respect. Peace. All right, guys. That's Reefer Al Joint. That man is a class act, once in a lifetime type of character. And we just started getting to know each other. And we just started talking. And then over the last couple of shows, he's been in the chat room. So I'm like, yo, call me. Because he's been calling me off the air. I'm like, just call me. So we have a very natural rapport because we've been talking off the air anyways. And I want to have that relationship with more of you guys. So get to know me. I'm just a normal guy. I got kids upstairs. I'm just down here making a video because Trump's getting impeached. And I wanted to talk about it. I was not planning on going live for like 2 hours. We've been live for 1 hour and 54 minutes. 64 likes. Thank you guys for the likes. Thank you guys for being here. We don't go out like this. We always go out in style here. If you're new to Rich TV Live, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications. Every time we go live, you'll get access to us first. And yeah, man, that was a great show. That was a lot of fun. Reefer Al Joint, man. It's nice to see you guys love. His name is Reefer Al Joint. Reefer Al Joint. All one word on Twitter. You'll find him. If you guys subscribe to me on Twitter, I follow him on Twitter too. It's a way to find him as well. Reefer Al Joint on Twitter. And he puts out like 100 posts a day. 100 to 200 posts a day. He is just a hardworking guy. He's a solid dude. And he's just living his life. And he likes to get medicated because he needs to. Physically, he needs to get medicated. So this is the way we go out. Listen to the words. These are new hats, new gear from Rich TV Live. Subscribe. Just got this gear today, folks.
Is a protection against ignorance. I mean, make sure that nothing bad happens to you. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a perfectly sound approach. Who does not feel they know how to run a business? If you know how to analyze businesses and value business, it's great. Rich TV. Rich TV. Rich TV. Rich TV. Rich TV. Rich TV. Rich like me.
Invest in companies and businesses that you can see still being successful 20 years from now. That's the Warren Buffett model. Invest in the best. The best is blessed. And invest in companies that you can identify the number one pick. And if you've been buying Truly for the last 5 months and writing a lead, you're up between 75 to 80%. Congratulations to everyone.
Rich TV. 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 Rich like me.
Hey guys, this is Rich from Rich TV Live. The resurrection is coming.